The moment I smelled another man's cologne on my wife, my marriage died, and my plan
I
began.
knew my marriage was over the moment I smelled him. A masculine cologne clung to my wife's skin, sharp, woody, expensive. It was a scent no one in our house owned. Melissa stood in our bedroom, buttoning her blouse, completely unaware that I was watching her from the doorway. Her hair was messy, her lipstick smudged, her breath uneven. 5 years of marriage, and the truth arrived not with a shout, not with a confession, but through a scent. "I made dinner," I said quietly. "Truffle pasta." "Your favorite." She turned slowly, and her eyes widened for just a second. It wasn't guilt. It was irritation at being interrupted. "Donald, I didn't hear you come in. I'm tired." "I need to shower." I took one step toward her. One small, stupid step, hoping that maybe, just maybe, I was wrong. She recoiled. "Don't touch me, Donald," she said coldly. 5 words, 5 knives. 5 confirmations of what I already knew. I didn't fight, I didn't beg or demand an explanation. I just memorized her face, the face of the woman I thought I loved, then turned and walked away without a word. That was 6 months ago. Now, I stand in my penthouse overlooking the harbor, city lights flickering like distant warnings of a life I've left behind. My phone buzzes on the glass desk. It's Melissa, the 5th call today. I let it ring. The messages come in waves: apologies, please, regret. She says she made a terrible mistake. She says she wants us back. But the man she betrayed no longer exists. I met Melissa 5 years ago at a tech conference. I was giving a presentation on supply chain algorithms, dry, technical, brilliant, but boring. She approached me afterward, confident and sharp. "Your algorithm could change the industry," she said. "But your presentation could cure insomnia." It was bold, disrespectful, and unforgettable. We married 6 months later and started a company in our garage, Apex Solutions. We built it together into a 70-employee powerhouse. Her charm brought the clients. My algorithms kept them, but as our life got bigger, she started to drift. Late nights became meetings. Solo trips became more frequent. Then Westridge Manufacturing entered the picture, our biggest potential client. She worked closely with their coup, James Carson. Tall, handsome, Ivy League polished. He looked at her too long, and she smiled at him too brightly. I ignored the signs until the night I smelled his cologne on her. After she told me not to touch her, I slept in my office, staring at the ceiling until dawn. Grief slowly sharpened into a decision. By sunrise, I had a plan. Not to save my marriage, but to save my company and myself. While she slept, I began restructuring Apex with absolute precision. I transferred our intellectual property to a new holding company I owned alone. I split the company into 2 entities. I moved development teams. I protected everything that mattered. And Melissa? She never noticed. She signed every single document. She trusted me the way I once trusted her. All the while, she was deepening her affair with Carson, convinced she was trading up. She never realized I could see everything: the phone logs, the calendar entries, the late-night calls. 3 months later, after she and Carson secured a $12 million contract for Apex, she finally decided to end our marriage. In the driveway, she confessed. Yes, there was someone else. Yes, it was James. I stayed calm, polite, cold. "What do you want, Melissa?" I asked. "I want to try being with him," she said. That was the moment I let her go. She moved out the next morning, straight into Carson's apartment. While she was enjoying her new life, I executed the final phase of my plan. 3 weeks later, she asked to meet. At a coffee shop, she tried to negotiate a 50-50 split of the company she thought we still co-owned. I just slid a thick folder across the table. When she opened it, her world collapsed. Ownership diagrams, asset transfers, valuation reports, with her own signatures on every page. "You own 49%, I told her. "Of the smaller branch, not the core technology. Not the future." Her face turned white. "You planned this," she whispered. "You forced me to," I replied. She threatened lawyers, but everything was legal. She threatened a scandal, but I reminded her the affair would become public. She folded. Within a week, Carson ended things with her. He'd only wanted her for her stake in the company. When he learned it was worthless, he dropped her instantly. She called me, crying, broken. "I'll take the bid out," she whispered. We met at the restaurant where I once proposed. She looked tired, small, stripped of her confidence. She apologized, truly, not to win me back, but because she finally understood the depth of what she destroyed. When she reached for my face, I held her hand for a moment, not out of love, but for closure, and then I let it go. We said goodbye under a streetlight, and neither of us looked back. The divorce finalized. Apex exploded with success. As for Carson, he was fired after an audit exposed his corruption. Every door in the industry closed to him. A year later, Melissa mailed me a newspaper clipping about my success with a handwritten note. "You deserve this. Sorry for everything." Months after that, our paths crossed in Seattle. We shared one last drink. She asked if we could stay in touch. I told her no, some chapters have to stay closed. Standing here tonight on my balcony, I remember what she said. "Don't touch me, Donald." I walked away without a word. She regrets everything now. But I don't. Some betrayals destroy you. Others forge you into someone stronger. And losing her was the best thing that ever happened to me.